Hello beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Everything that I use in this video will be listed down below, and if you want to see how I achieve this beautiful look, just continue watching. I'm going to start with this black shade and adding it to the outer corner as well as my crease, and I've just stamped it into place and then lightly blending it out, making sure I keep it in that outer corner and then lightly fade it towards the front because I don't really want that black to really show in the front that much. To blend out that black a little bit, I'm going in with this brown shade and I'm going directly on top as well as above. And I'm just blending both of those shades together to get a smooth transition. You want to make sure that you continuously blend so everything flows together. And now I'm just going to go back into that black just a little bit, only in that outer corner, to make sure that I add enough product there that it really shows through, because I want this to be more of a smoky look. And now I'm just going back into that brown shade to continue to blend. Again, blending will become your best friend when doing your eyeshadow to make sure that everything flows together and is much smoother. And now I'm just going in with a little more of that brown, and then towards the front I did switch into some red because I wanted the front part to be a little more red, and then it's going to fade into that brown. Using that same brush from the black, I'm just going to apply whatever product is left on the brush to fade that in a little bit more, because when blending, some of that product kind of disappeared. Now I'm going in with some concealer to do my cut crease, and I'm going to apply this concealer to my lash line, making it very thin and then looking up to create like a guide, and I'm going to follow that along the way. I like to follow the guide all the way down and then blend in the products. It just makes it a lot easier for me so that I don't mess up anything. To get rid of that harsh line between that black and that concealer, I'm just going to fade a little bit more of that black in without adding too much product. Now I'm going in with a little bit of black on this more flat detailed brush, and I'm just applying a very thin line there because I wanted it to be a lot bolder than what it appears to be. Now right underneath my crease, I'm going in with some orange, and I'm just applying that to that part of the lid and fading it into that black, making sure that I build the color up just a little bit so that it really shows through. And you want to make sure that you blend this out as well. And as you can see, I'm not doing the inner corner just yet. I'm going to do the same thing with some yellow, but apply that to the top of that orange and making sure that I build that up as well. Now that I'm satisfied with how that is blended out, I'm going in with some tan and I'm adding that to the inner corner and fading that into that orange as well as that yellow, making sure that everything is nicely blended. Now I'm going in with some glitter glue and I'm just applying that with my finger and then applying a little bit of glue on top of that. The glue in the glitter is only on top of that orange as well as that yellow and a little bit of the black. I didn't want that glitter to be nowhere near the tan. And for this look, I didn't want a bold eyeliner look, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of this, making sure that my lines are nice and thin. Now that we got the eyes done, I'm moving on to the face. I moisturize and prime my skin off camera. And for the foundation, I love using this foundation because it is very full coverage. A little goes a long way, so you can build it up, but you don't necessarily have to apply that much. Just look at the coverage. Again, everything that I use will be listed down below, so feel free to check that out. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. That helps with the algorithm. I would really appreciate it. And now to clean up the top portion of my brows, is I'm just taking that same concealer that I like to use when priming my lids before my eyeshadow. And I'm just applying that first, making sure that everything is nice and straight. When doing my brows, I like to take my time so I don't mess up and have to start the whole process over. But as you can see, the video is a little sped up, but I did move a little fast when doing this. Now I'm just adding a little bit of that foundation on top of that as well and blending that out. And I didn't need that much of that foundation because that concealer kind of covered up some of the extra parts that I would kind of needed the foundation for. And I'm just going over everything, making sure that everything is nicely placed. For the concealer, I like to use a light concealer, not necessarily this light, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm using. And I'm just going to apply this underneath my eyes, the forehead, as well as the center of my nose. For the forehead, I'm going to blend out right away because I don't like that little cast that it leaves sometimes if you let a concealer sit too long. So this is the part I like to finish up my brows. Whatever foundation as well as concealer that's in the center of my brows, I like to fade that into my brows to give it a more ombre effect. Now to move on to blending out the concealer underneath the eyes. I like to let the concealer sit while I blend out on my forehead as well as my nose, but I don't let it sit for too much longer because this concealer dries down pretty quick, and the longer you let it sit, the harder it will become to spread out. Some concealers you can let it sit for 1 to 2 minutes to give a more full coverage look, but this concealer is already kind of full coverage, so you don't have to let it sit for too long. And since I wanted the under eyes to be a little bit brighter for this particular look, I'm going in with a little more and then blending it out right away, making sure that I blended out those edges first before blending out the inner corner. And you can just tell just by the little bit that I blended the coverage that you'll get. And I'm just going to add a little bit of bronzer to my nose to contour just a little bit. And I really didn't have to do this since that concealer is in the center of my nose. It kind of already gives the illusion that I did this already, but I just wanted it to show through a little bit more. Before applying any powder to the face, you want to make sure that you blend out and get rid of any creasing that you may have gotten, and then go in with your powder. And I went in with a powder that is a light powder, but I first went in very light-handed before going in with a little bit more to kind of bake just a little bit. I don't like to bake too much because I do have dry skin, so if I bake for too long it will look a little cakey and patchy. But lately it don't look that way because if you exfoliate your skin, then you don't have to have those problems. Everywhere that I applied that concealer is where I'm applying this powder, just to set that concealer into place. Now I'm going in with a little bit of bronzer just to bring some warmth back to the face. And a little bit of this bronzer goes a long way. It is very pigmented, but you can go in and apply as much as you want. It's totally up to you. And to give my face that more snatched look, I am going to apply some of that powder underneath the bronzer to make that line a little more crispy, and again to give it that snatched look. You don't have to do this. This part is optional. And I'm going to take my foundation brush and I'm going to blend out that bronzer to kind of get rid of the harsh line. And right there, I felt like I was missing a little more powder, so I'm just going to go in with just a little bit more. And now it's time to dust away that extra powder. And I am taking a pressed powder that's closer to my skin tone to dust away all that powder. I also dusted over that bronzer as well to help set everything into place. And I'm going to go back in with a little more of that pressed powder, and I'm just going to use this triangle puff just to make sure that the under eyes is exactly how I want it to be. Now I'm just setting everything into place. And for the lips, at first I was just going to be plain and go in with a little bit of lip gloss, and I decided at the last minute I did not want to do that. So I'm just going in with some brown lip liner. I'm also going to use that same brush that I used for the black eyeshadow to kind of blend that out just a little bit, and go in with a little bit of this lip liner. And I decided that that tan lip liner didn't really do anything for this look, so I went in with a little bit of red. And there you have it. I hope y'all enjoyed this look as much as I did making it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss whenever I post another video. And again, everything that I use will be listed down below, so feel free to check that out if needed. And I will see you all in the next video.